Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have a huge major leak when it comes to the PlayStation 6 and the future of physical games. Now, if you guys have ever watched my channel, we do a lot of console news, and of course, we want to expand into more cool stuff. I've been kind of prepping my channel for that for a little while, so if you guys are excited for that, so subscribe if you guys are new. But as well, we also have always been big proponents of like physical, game preservation, and of course, the idea that digital is cool. Like, I like my digital consoles, and I'm totally fine with like downloading games on Steam. Been doing it for many years. There's always a special spot in my heart for collecting games and having physical ownership and not always having to rely on specific, companies to always have these data centers hosting up everything. And if they go out of business, go bankrupt, things like Steam or EA or Ubisoft, or even sometimes games lose their licensing rights, all of this stuff is a big detriment towards physical copies. But right now we have this huge leak for the PlayStation 6 that is basically a gamer collector's dream. So let's go and talk about it. So we've had this weird generation, Xbox Series S, pure digital. The new Xbox Series X, like the revision, also digital. The PlayStation obviously has its own digital and disc editions, and of course the Switch 2 is kind of like hybrid of the both. And obviously a lot of PC people are mostly on digital downloads. So a lot of things right this second are pushing more towards the idea of digital downloads. But things like GameStop, are still around and people still like to trade games, and even the Switch 2 has this like weird game sharing thing. But on the counterpoint, Walmart, Best Buy, Amazon, all these other bigger retailers, even Xbox themselves, have kind of been taking a step back from having all these physical copies. And people are like, well, what's the future? What's going on? But apparently the PlayStation 6 is now answering this. Because right now the PlayStation 6 is, and this is my opinion, good news, would love to hear your thoughts down below, is planned to have a detachable disk drive on launch. Now, there's a lot I could say on this already, just off the title. Don't forget, like right now, the PS5 has all these detachable and retachable disk drives, but they are a little expensive. They're an extra like 80 bucks. They do kind of add up, and of course, that means the normal consoles with them are also more expensive. It is a little bit of a struggle, but it's not the world's worst thing. But at the same time, it's nice to have. So Insider Gaming themselves, shout out to them, have learned that the PlayStation 6 is planned to actually have a detachable disk drive when this console launches. The first introduction for the mid-generation, the PlayStation 5, and back in 2022, was the detachable disk drive, which basically meant, for the PlayStation to reduce its cost production and shipping cost. That means it was slightly less heavy, and of course, you have the option to have a pure digital console, so it's kind of like just a nice option to make it cheaper. And this kind of seems like what we're doing in the future. I have a chance to have like this either pure digital, so a cheaper console, which I'd probably go for, or a detachable disk drive as well, so they can also sell bonus money for those same digital consoles, or to sell it as a whole, and then also having tiered consoles. It's kind of how we did with the Xbox Series X and S, where you can maybe have a stronger console, a mid-tier console, weaker console, or as we're kind of seeing for the PlayStation end, a PlayStation 6, and then also PlayStation Portable, like the handheld and the proper console itself. We kind of saw that already this generation with bits and pieces, and that kind of seems like what's going to happen in the future, regardless. So right now, the next generation of the PlayStation, now several sources who wish to remain anonymous because they were not authorized to even bring this up in the first place and talk about these company plans, NDAs and secret leaks, have said that the detachable disk drive is here to stay for the next generation. And this to me is dope. Both for game preservation, them still selling physical games, collector's editions, and of course, just the fact that it's there. I always like options. And of course, if you guys want more options, you guys can check out the second channel. We've been making like content creator and streamer drama. I have that linked in the description or in the comment section if you guys are bored or want to check it out. A lot of you guys have been watching there and just creeping on the new stuff. Thank you guys for that. Or the new subscribers here. I appreciate you guys. So identical to the PlayStation 5 and its detachable disk drive, customers will be able to buy the console individually as the digital console. So think as of right now with the normal PlayStation 5 Digital Edition. Also have it bundled with the PlayStation 6 as in the traditional console. So it's kind of like the mainstay console right this second, where it comes with the PlayStation disc and it's maybe a little bit cheaper as a bundle. I'm cool with this. This is fine. So people want to go slightly cheaper and save some money, and they maybe are just fully digital, bro, that's a win. Like, I'm sure a lot of you guys would be okay with just getting your pure PS5 digital. When they were first announced, I actually leaned towards the digital itself. Then I realized, sometimes I might do a GameFly, game rental system, or maybe want to borrow a game from a friend. So I did decide to go and splurge and get my disc edition day one. Plus also those were more in demand, because I think Like the digital is more in demand. So when it comes to the disc edition, I was like, all right, they're more available. It's going to be a little bit of a BIT to go get it all. Let's just go that route. I think that was just more called. So going to one source, unless things are changed at the last minute, PlayStation is firm on the decision because the disk drive for the PlayStation 5 hit all the company's internal targets. Basically saying like, well, we weren't really sure if like people even wanted games anymore, like game discs. We just go purely digital. And apparently there was enough demand from everyone out there that they still like having physical game copies. I'm a part of that. Like I like having the physical games. I'll be honest. So this is actually like, I love this. This is good for me. So yes. And again, it was reiterated by the source that the decision was made to reduce the manufacturing and shipping costs during these uncertain times. So this was in regards to the first generation of problems. So think like the Evergrade, like weird boat. Think COVID, think supply chain issues, all of those. That was like, hey, let's maybe try to cut this down because we're seeing that shipping cost is going up. Now this is now in this weird tariff trade cost thing, and it's probably going to still affect the world, even if it's like 5 years from now, because, companies take a while to go plan stuff, do contracts, get ships, whatever, it is what it is. So they're probably going to try to think in the future. They do not want to spend all this extra money. They want to make sure that shipping is cheaper. At the end of the day, that's what matters. It makes sense. These uncertain times have seemingly influenced PlayStation's decision on the look of the next PlayStation 2, as rumbles suggest that this time around, the PlayStation 6 will have an even simpler design than its predecessor. Again, to maximize efficiency, shipping space, and weight, and so on. So it's kind of like, well, like these are all like probably like AI and random photos. It wouldn't make sense because do we really need to have these huge, big, boxy boxes? Not really. And usually as technology over time gets stronger, it does get smaller as well. Like think maybe phones. Like our phones are relatively the same size, but the power capacity they have now versus 15 years ago is insanely different. Think big bulky laptops, think big bulky desktops, think, even car engines. Like those things were huge to get certain amounts of horsepower. Now they're more toned down. So it seems like they want to make the consoles smaller. It's also confirmed too, because we're on like PlayStation 5.0, and every single time internally, it's gotten smaller, weighs less, and even look at the PS5 to PS5 Slim. Like the console itself did get smaller. So we're both going to get disc drives, detachable, on-off, so a pure digital and disc console still, and as well probably smaller consoles as well. I think the smaller console thing is probably the bigger highlight from this all, but I think in terms of like what is useful, as in like what people like, what people care about, physical games, I think this is also huge news. So even as late of this month, we can expect PlayStation to introduce a new PlayStation 5 Slim revision, which we've already covered on the channel, so shout out to subscribers who have seen that video, which will launch with a 825 gigabyte hard drive instead of the standard 1 terabyte. It's also believed that, like with all PlayStation 5 revisions, it will also reduce the console's weight, indicating that they're trying to also go and save pennies where it is necessary. So they're just trying to save money, make a little bit more money by potentially selling like the disc drives as a premium as they currently already have them. And overall, that's the big deal. Now, obviously, people in the community are like, bro, that's cool. Saying this, someone who likes to have these physical copies, I'm glad this is still an option. I agree. Like, this is a win. I like the idea of game preservation, the idea of trading games or selling games if I hate them, and of course, sharing games with my family, my little nephews and nieces, or any of my local friends out there too as well. And like a lot of people are like, they're old school. I think a lot of you guys in my community are in the same boat too as well. It does think though, because people are like, yeah, it's going to probably cost like $100. That's probably true. That's the thing that stinks. And people are like, as long as it can be installed and look seamless like today, then that's cool with me. And I'm in that same boat. If everything is seamless and is chill, it takes 2 seconds to do, on or off, optional, like options. I am never against options at all. I love this type of stuff too as well. And apparently I guess it's still going to be Blu-ray, which is crazy. This is basically the end-all be-all technology for such a long time too as well. Even people who are rented this stuff too, like you use GameFly or other various things, or even from friends or whatever. That's why I kind of miss Redbox and the good old school Blockbuster. But yeah, I just like that physical media still exists. I like the idea that people can still get this, even from production standpoints. It all makes sense. And I don't think PlayStation is doing a wrong thing. Now, some people think it might be like a monopoly. I think they usually cut prices pretty well, and they usually match things on, say, like Steam or other platforms too. But I'm curious what all your thoughts are down below. Subscribe if you guys are new as well. I appreciate you guys. Leave a like, and of course, check out the second channel, Twitter and Twitch down below if you guys would like to. I'll talk to you guys all soon for some more brand new videos.